Hi friends, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome or welcome back to Trapped by Love. If you are interested in true crime and justice, you are in the right place. So I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button because we would love to have you join us. By way of disclaimer, we discuss true crime cases involving domestic abuse and domestic homicide on this channel. So if that's not the kind of content you were looking for, I completely understand. Thanks for stopping by. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get into today's case. Today's case is an Australian case, but I need to preface the introduction with a preemptive apology, and that is the apology for any mispronunciation of names. I've searched high and low for video or audio in relation to this case, but have not been able to find any. So I don't have any reference on how names are pronounced, so I hope you can forgive me for any blunders. Today we'll be discussing the case of Ruqia Haidari. Rukia was a beautiful girl who fled Afghanistan with her family at the age of 16, seeking a better life in Australia. She came from a strict Afghan household, and when she arrived in Australia, a whole new world opened up to her. She went to school in her new hometown of Shepparton in Victoria. She made wonderful friends and was looking forward to going to university. She'd just been on the end of year 12 trip to Melbourne and was in awe of all that she'd seen and experienced. Her best friend Abby recalls Rukia's fascination while at the aquarium and her saying, "Oh my God, this is what life actually is." But it was 3 days before her graduation from year 12 in November of 2019 that she confided in Abby that she didn't want to marry a man she didn't know. This was when her friend found out that Rukia was being forced to marry. The man in question was a 25-year-old Uber driver and abattoir worker named Muhammad Ali Halimi. Rukia had told her family that this marriage wasn't what she wanted. She had even gone to the Australian Federal Police when the negotiations about marriage started in August, and had secretly told their human trafficking team that she was being threatened and coerced into the union with the hope of putting it off. Her family attempted to soften the blow by telling her that she would be able to attend university once she was in Perth with her new husband. Rukia was still resistant, but despite this, the nuptials went ahead. So at 21 years old, after her family were paid $15,000 in dowry, Ruqia Haidari was wed to a man she'd met twice. Muhammad Ali Halimi had also fled Afghanistan, and he went to Pakistan as a boy after the brutal murder of his father by the Taliban. He'd made the perilous journey to Australia by boat when he was 17, leaving his family behind, and then he settled in Perth in 2011. This is where he took his new bride after the wedding, Perth being 3,400 kilometres away from her home, her family, and her friends. Their relationship soon became strained, as Rukia repeatedly shut down Muhammad's attempts at intimacy. They had not consummated their marriage, and Muhammad was getting frustrated. He was also frustrated by the fact that his wife didn't cook or clean for him. There were numerous phone calls made to Rukia's family by Muhammad, where he expressed his disappointment with his new wife. Neighbours of the couple have told of arguments that they heard with slamming doors and screaming. Muhammad definitely did not think that he got what he was promised or paid for in a wife. And this was made evident in a video that he sent her family cataloguing a rundown of her shortcomings. On the morning of January 18, 2020, the pair were arguing about their relationship when Muhammad made a series of heated phone calls to Rukia's brother in Victoria to complain about his wife's lack of love. Rukia's brother listened helplessly as he heard the argument turn physical, hearing his sister crying, "Don't touch me, don't hit me," as Muhammad told her to keep quiet. After hanging up the phone, Muhammad took a stainless steel kitchen knife and slashed Rukia's throat twice, severing her carotid and thyroid arteries. 9 minutes after hanging up, as Rukia lay bleeding, he called her brother back and said, quote, "If you're a man, come and get your sister's dead body." Shortly after this, Mohammed went to the Mirrabooka police station in his blood-stained clothes and handed himself in, telling officers he had slit his wife's throat. At this time, Ruqia had been married only 2 months. In his video recorded interview with the police the day after the murder, Mohammed said that he knew Ruqia had been forced into marriage, saying she told him straight away she had been pushed by her parents and she did not love him. However, once he was in court, he proclaimed that he was unaware that Ruqia had not wanted to marry him, that when he found out, that he was shocked, and he would, if he had have known, he would have helped her get a divorce. However, Justice Bruno Fianca said that he was satisfied that Mohammed was aware that Ruqia didn't want to be married. And he went on to say that this brutal slaying was due to the fact that Mohammed felt a sense of entitlement and felt disrespected when he wasn't obeyed by his wife. He was ultimately sentenced to life in prison with a non-parole period of 19 years. The Australian Federal Police also arrested 3 people over the alleged forced marriage of Ruqia. The 3 people arrested were all charged with causing a person to enter a forced marriage. These 3 were a 44-year-old woman, a 30-year-old woman, and a 22-year-old man. One of the arrested was Ruqia's mother, and to hear the things she said to her daughter when she was pleading to be released from this marriage that she didn't want, both before and after the wedding, is just heartbreaking. On Ruqia's henna night, where the bride's hands and feet are decorated, her mother sent Ruqia's friend to tell her to smile, or she would, quote, come up on stage and hit her, end quote, because people weren't happy that she wasn't smiling. When her friend went up to give her the message, Ruqia didn't say anything. She just plastered on a fake smile as tears welled in her eyes. A lot of people within the Afghan community raised their concerns as well. Even the community leader had tried to reason with Ruqia's mother, but she would not be swayed. When Ruqia returned to Victoria from Perth for a wedding, she begged her mother not to send her back to her husband, but she later recounted to a friend that her mother had told her, quote, don't come back to us. We will only take back your dead body. These are the statements that the AFP, the Australian Federal Police, have allegedly taken from those who knew the family. It's been confirmed that Sakina Mohammed Jan, Ruqia's mother, pled not guilty and has been committed to stand trial. That was in December of 2021, and so far I'm not able to see when this case will be before the courts, but once I have an update, I will let you know. And that is all I have for you today, my lovelies. As always, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Ladies and gents, it's diabolical to me. I mean, that it's still happening in our communities. Arranged marriages are one thing. I mean, if that's something that is arranged and is part of the culture and everyone's amenable to it, that's one thing. Forced marriages are a complete other story, and this one just had the most tragic ending, and all the people that loved Ruqia are just devastated. So please let me know what you think in the comments box below, over on Twitter or on Discord, the links to which are in the show notes. If the content of this case has raised any concerns for you regarding your own relationship or that of a loved one, please reach out for help. There is a list of resources in the show notes and the description box below. My aim in covering these cases is to honour the victims of these crimes and to get their stories out there in the hopes of warning others who may face similar situations. The hope is that the more people who recognise the red flags and warning signs of abusive relationships, the less prevalent these cases will be in the future. I thank you again for joining me this week, and until next time, please take care of yourselves and be kind to one another.